Okay, he's absolutely brilliant. So let's give him a nice warm welcome. Let's get that clapping going. Can we get that clapping going? Get the clapping going. Get the cheering going. Welcome to Zach Lacey. Nice to know.
All right, how are we doing? Yeah. Everybody having a good day? Yeah. Good, I'm glad to hear that because I'm not having a good day. Right, today I had to go to Portsmouth. Oh. Yeah. No, it's not. Portsmouth isn't the worst place in the world, but it does have the highest concentration of sex offenders anywhere in the UK. Probably, I haven't checked that, but sounds right. But if they said on the news tomorrow 1 in 3 people in Portsmouth are nonce, you'd go, yeah, that sort of tracks. Tell you what happened, I was driving along and I was sat at some traffic lights and I saw my mate, Ben, cross the road in front of me and I thought, well, that's weird, because I live in Bournemouth. Ben lives in Ipswich, so the chances of me just running into him in the middle of Portsmouth are slim. So I did the only reasonable thing you can do in that situation. I wound my window down and I went, "Oi, Ben, you wanker!" And 4 things happened all at the same time. First of all, Ben looked round to see who was shouting at him. Second, I realised it wasn't Ben. Third, the lights went green, and 4, I stalled the fucking car. So now I'm just sat in the middle of Portsmouth with a very angry potential sex offender staring at me, like he wanted some answers. I thought, oh, I need to get out of here, I need to go and calm down. I think I'll go and get myself a coffee. Pulled up, went into Starbucks, and I don't know about you, but if I ever go into Starbucks or any coffee shop, I only ever order a flat white, right? Because I don't want whipped cream, I don't want pumpkin spice, I don't want sprinkles. I don't want a coffee that's been vajazzled. I just want some anxiety in a cup. It said on the board, flat white, £4.25. But as he was ringing it up, he goes, that'd be £4.30, please. I said, no, it said £4.25 up there. He goes, yeah, you had a cup. I said, what? He goes, yeah, you had a paper cup. That's the policy, it's 5p extra if you have a paper cup. I said, what was the fucking alternative? Are you just going to pour it straight in my bag? Or are you just going to whack it in my pocket? What are you talking about? Turns out the correct answer to that question is bring your own cup. Come on, mate, I'm paying £4.50 for a cup of coffee I could have made at home for 20p. What makes you think I'm organised enough to have my own cup? If I had my own cup, it would have my own fucking coffee in it. And don't give me this bollocks about being good for the environment, because you didn't grow these coffee beans in a window box in your flat, Jasper, did you? Starbucks have paid a Guatemalan farmer $3 a day, then flown them all over the world. I'm not the bad guy for wanting something to drink it out of. And we wouldn't accept this behaviour anywhere else, right? If you went into the bar next door and asked for a pint, and he just poured it all over the bar, you go, hang on son, you're doing that wrong. If he then said, oh, if you want it in a glass, you should have said, you'd be fully justified in calling him a cunt. We wouldn't accept, oh, he's gone early with the C word. Oh, within the first couple of minutes and he's gone with the C word. We should talk about the C word, because the C word is, I know, a very divisive, controversial word. Some people really love it, some people really hate it. I'm a big fan, but I know that a lot of people don't like it. But it's interesting that the people that object to it most are often the people it applies to most. I tend to think of it like the Marmite of words, right? You either love it or you hate it. Yeah, like Marmite, you either love it or you hate it. Although that whole thing with Marmite is nonsense, because most of us don't really love or hate Marmite at all. Most of us are somewhere in the middle. If there's some there, yeah, you'll have it on toast. If there isn't any, you're not going to kick the dog. Nobody's that worried. Apart from those people who describe themselves as Marmite. You met them? Oh, I'm like fucking hell, I'm like Marmite. You'll either love me or you'll hate me. I'm so crazy, I'm so wacky. No, you're a cunt. That is what has happened there. Anyway, so like I said, I was in Portsmouth and driving along, had the coffee, driving along, and I saw this beautiful black Labrador in the road, and he looked like he was really lost, like really lost. So I pulled over, got out, gave him a stroke, said hello to him, and he didn't have a collar on, and he looked really sort of lost and stray. I thought, maybe I'll take him to the vet, see if I can find out where he lives. So I put him in the car, he didn't have a collar on, put him in the car, googled where the closest vet was, took him to the vet, and the vet found the microchip, he scanned it, and he said, this dog is from 27 Cromwell Street. It turns out I hadn't found a stray dog, I'd stolen a dog. 27 Cromwell Street is exactly where I picked him up from. I I told the vet that. He looked at me like I was a fucking world-class simpleton. So I needed to get out of there as quickly as I could. Put the dog back in the car, drove back to Cromwell Street, and he was so excited to get home. He pissed in my car. I couldn't blame him. If you kidnapped me, I'd probably piss in your car. But got out, went up to the door, knocked on the door, and his owners came out, and they were so relieved to see him. They were so grateful and so relieved. They'd been frantic, apparently. And so I did again. I did the only reasonable thing you can do. I lied. I said I found him about a mile up the street, because I wasn't going to admit to kidnapping their dog. And they were so grateful. And the woman tried to give me some money. She said, oh, I'm going to have to give you something. She tried to give me £100. I said, look, no, I can't take your money. I'm not a hero, and I'm definitely not a hero. I can't take your money. If I see a stray dog, I rescue a stray dog. That's just what I do. So I got back in the car, felt awful for the rest of the day. I don't know if you can see this watch. It's a really clever watch. It counts all your heartbeat, your steps, all the rest of it. £100 that cost me today in Portsmouth. So yeah. What else can I tell you about me? So yeah, later on this month, in fact, I'm going to turn 48 years of age. Now you might agree with this, you might completely disagree with it, but I have been told I don't look like I'm 48. Which I suppose just goes to show that phrase, black don't crack, is true. Or in my case, beige don't age. See, I am mixed race. My granddad was from Brazil, right? So that makes me about 25% black South American, and about 75% white British. And that's an interesting ratio. Right, because that means I'm dark enough to have been called the N-word, not dark enough to use it. No. Right, if I'm in town and I see a group of black guys, I can't walk up to them and go, oh, my ninjas, what's going on? Because that's going to end really quite fucking badly for me. Ask me how I know. But when you are mixed race, you tend to get like a mix of the traits. So and I do, I've got some what you might think of as predominantly black traits, some white traits. So for example, from the white side, I get my dancing ability. I dance like I'm fucking riddled with special needs. Nobody needs to see that. But as a positive from the white side, I've also got an overdeveloped sense of self-importance and privilege, so that tends to balance itself out. From the black side, I get my swimming ability. I swim like a fucking stone, right? If you go to the swimming pool, you probably do lengths or widths. I don't, I do depths. Panicky, screechy depths. But as a positive from the black side, I do have a massive set of lips, which is handy because when I was at school, somebody said to me, it doesn't matter if you can't swim, Zach, you've got a pair of armbands strapped to your face. So that was school in the 80s in Bournemouth. So I got divorced about 5, nearly 6 years ago now, so that means over the last couple of years I've been on the dating apps. Has anybody else been on the dating apps? Did somebody meet on the dating apps? Yeah, plenty of fish, was it? So how long ago was that? 20 years ago. Oh wow, congratulations. So I was hoping it was going to be shorter than that, because that would fed into my joke, but don't worry about it. But yeah, so like I said, I was married for 16 years, so when I went back on the apps, the whole dating world had changed. Everything was completely new to me, and I've learned quite a lot. There was quite a big or steep learning curve. I think the first and most important thing I learned on the dating apps is I don't want to be a stepdad. Because frankly, I don't like other people's fucking children. Oh, you can't tell me what to do, you can't make me eat that apple, you're not my real dad. No, I'm not your real dad. I'm starting to see why you fucked off though. I am shagging your mum. How'd you like them apples, you little prick? That's the other thing I learned on dating apps. Turns out, and like I said, brand new information for me, I was married for 16 years. Turns out, middle-aged women in their 40s, love getting fucked. And I didn't see that coming. Like I said, I was married for ages, and I love doing that because right now there are two very distinct reactions in the room. Right? There are some middle-aged women looking at me as if to say, yeah, we fucking do. But there's also some middle-aged men who are still married looking at me as if to say, don't think that's true. That's not my experience. No, it is. Honestly, I promise, it's true. It's fucking exhausting. I struggle to keep up. And maybe if that's you, if you're looking at me as if to say, I think you're telling lies, and maybe it's you. Maybe you just need to pull your socks up. Because if you don't, in 6 months' time, you might find yourself crying into an ice and ready meal in a bed sit. Oh, she's getting folded up like a pretzel by some fucking idiot like me. But that's just maybe a conversation for the car ride home. I had an interesting conversation with my eldest son recently. He's just turned 16 recently, and he said, came in from school, and he said, Dad, today at school we had sex education class. I said, oh yeah? He goes, yeah, one of my mates, he picked up one of the dildos. And I said, excuse me, you picked up one of the fucking what? He goes, yeah, he picked up one of the dildos, there's loads of them. I said, there's loads of dildos in a classroom of 15 and 16 year olds. He said, yeah, so just having a share. And I thought, okay, well, maybe from a safeguarding perspective, that's a good idea, because you probably shouldn't share dildos, but it turns out they use them to practice putting condoms on, so that was a relief. But it got me thinking, and I think the first thing it made me think was I'm glad that he told me that, right, because you don't want to get that information on parents' evening. Oh, Mr. Lacey, your son, he's lagging behind in English and maths, but his dildo work is fucking superb. It's brilliant. The substitute teacher couldn't walk the other day. It's fucking superb bit of work he's doing. The other thing it made me think is, where do you get a classroom-sized pack of dildos from? Is there a WhatsApp group with all the teachers in? As Year 11 sex on Friday, don't forget to bring your dildos in. Fucking wash yours this week, Janice, that was disgusting. Sorry about that. Or do they order them online? Imagine being the delivery driver for Ann Summers. Oh, Ferndown Upper School have ordered 2 dozen drill masks for 3,000. I'm not fucking delivering them. I am not walking into a school with a box full of dildos again. I've only just got off the register. That'd be your arse. Something I've noticed actually recently, anybody on Facebook? I guess most of us are. You might not see this might just be my algorithm, but something I've seen recently is this sort of blokes my age, some of them that I went to school with, middle-aged guys in their 40s, posting memes and pictures about how loyal and dangerous they are. So there'll be a picture of a lion with the caption, "The lion doesn't concern itself with the opinions of sheep." Fuck off, Gary. You're not a lion, Gary. You're a 42-year-old assistant manager at Travis Perkins, and your kids don't have fuck all to do with you. You're not a lion, Gary. At best, you are a weasel, dickhead. But ladies, there is a female version of this too. If you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. Yeah, but even at your best, you've got 3 missed Klarna payments for the yeast infection, Chloe. Let's all just settle down, shall we? Something else about Facebook, actually, you don't see this so much anymore, but it used to be popular a few years ago, joint Facebook profiles. So it'd be a married couple, so I don't know, Colin and Pam Jones, for example, and instead of having 2 Facebook profiles, one each, they've got a joint profile. And we're supposed to look at that and go, oh, that's sweet, isn't it? Aren't they so in love? They're so in line, they're so aligned, they don't even need 2 Facebook profiles, just the one, because they're so aligned, they're so together. That's not what it was. What has actually happened there is one of them, probably Ian, has been caught cheating, and now he's not allowed unsupervised on the internet. Does anybody else have teenage kids? No, nobody in this room has got teenage kids, you lucky bastards. If you haven't got teenage kids, borrow some, because you will learn so much about yourself and about the world. I say borrow some, get permission, but I'm not Jeffrey Epstein. I don't want Prince Andrew on TV talking bollocks about it, I can't blink. But I've got 2 teenage boys, 16 and 14, biggest pair of sarcastic, smart-ass pricks you could ever watch to me. Right? Problem is, I can't complain about it because it's my fault. I made them that way. In fact, I specifically designed them and trained them to be like that because I too am a sarcastic, smart-ass prick, right? And if it's 3 of us, if we're sat around taking the piss out of somebody else, it works perfectly, exactly what I wanted. Problem is, now they're a bit older, they've realised that they can join forces and turn on me. Right? So now there's barely a day goes by where I don't get absolutely fucking mugged off by 2 little mini versions of myself. Give you an idea, I went in the chippy the other day to get some food, not for a day out, that would be weird. But when the food was ready, the woman handed it to me and she said, "Enjoy your meal." And I said, out loud, "You too." Go outside, the little one goes, "Dad, did you just tell the woman in the chip shop to enjoy the meal she's not about to eat?" I said, yeah, I did do that. It's a bit weird, that, Dad. I don't think I'd have done that. What did you do that for? Right, shut up, get in the car. The other one took a slightly different approach. He kind of looked at me sideways and went, knobhead. If I had called my dad a knobhead when I was 15, I wouldn't be here telling you this story. But the world's changed. You can't hit kids anymore. You can't leave a mark. If you know what you're doing, you know where to put the cushion, you get away with it. But 15-year-old, or 16 years now, he's been making me laugh recently. See, about 6 months ago, he started talking like he's an episode of Top Boy. You know the TV show Top Boy? It's all Mandem, blood, bruv, fat, all this nonsense all the time. I was on the phone to him the other day, and I said, all right, mate, I'll come pick you up in about half an hour, I'll see you then. And he said, calm fam, say nothing. What the fuck are you talking about, child? He'd already gone at this point, he had a drug deal to do or somebody in scam. The thing is, he's from a place called Verwood. Right, if you don't know where Verwood is, it's semi-rural, East Dorset, halfway between Bournemouth and Salisbury. Do you know what else is halfway between Bournemouth and Salisbury? Fuck all. Horses, trees, fields and inbreeding. There is nothing there worth talking about. Do you know what isn't halfway between Bournemouth and Salisbury? South East London or Jamaica, so I know what he's doing. And he's my son. He's 12.5% black. At best he's fucking Magnolia. I've got no idea what he's doing. But he was part of probably the funniest conversation I think I've ever had recently. So he's 16, he's got himself a girlfriend. I'm at 47, nearly 48 years of age. I think I'm too young for grandchildren, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't want chlamydia. So me and my ex-wife said maybe it's time we sat him down, had a conversation with him, make sure he's wrapping it up, right? So I went over there, and the guts of the conversation were me saying, look, I don't want to know the details. If you need condoms, just let me know, and I'll either get some for you, or I'll give you the money, you can go and get me some. Now, I got on the phone with my ex-wife, but what she said next was fucking astonishing. Right, she said, just don't buy the flavoured ones, because they don't taste of anything. Now, I don't know if you've ever been in the same room as your ex-wife accidentally telling your 16-year-old son she sucks cocks, but I can thoroughly fucking recommend it as a day out. Honestly, I've been to Alton Towers, doesn't even fucking come close. Right? He was trying to teleport himself out of the room. She was trying to suck the words back in. Despite her apparent vast experience, that wasn't fucking working. And I was on the floor fighting for my fucking life. Best day ever. Like I said, I normally come out on the wrong side of those conversations, so I was quite pleased with that. I thought, okay, maybe that's a win for you, Zach. So a couple of weeks later, I was talking to him, and he goes, Dad, do you remember those condoms you bought me? I said, yeah. He goes, I had to get some different ones. I said, oh, why? What was the problem? He goes, well, the ones you bought me were a bit small, a bit tight. I said, we should have said I could have just got you some different ones. He goes, well, didn't like to say, in case they were the ones you usually use. And nobody wants to outdick their dad. But in many ways, I'm glad I have that kind of relationship with my kids where we can be open and honest and sort of have a laugh and take the piss out of each other, because it shows they're confident, right? And that's good, because when I was a kid, I wasn't very confident. In fact, I was quite shy. Here's why. When I was 7, we were at school getting ready for a nativity play, right? And when you're 7, getting ready for a nativity play, the first thing you want to know is what role am I going to get, right? If you're a boy, you want to be Joseph. If you're a girl, you want to be Mary. I didn't get either of those. I went to Stephen Jenkins and Caroline Wilkes. Absolute bullshit. I thought maybe I'll get to be a wise man or a shepherd. No, I didn't get either of those either. Because my teacher, Mrs. Beecham, who, not to put too fine a point on it, was a fucking bitch, cast me as the wind. Yeah, you're fucking right, I've never heard of it either. In fact, I've looked it up, I've read the Bible, it's not in there. It doesn't say, lo, the Virgin gave birth to the Saviour of the world, but fuck me, was it blowy that night? It's not in there. It's not in there, she made it up. It's not even in the soundtrack. Silent night, holy night, all was calm, specifically calm. No wind, she made it up. But now you might be thinking, okay, Zach, so what does being the wind in a nativity play even mean? I'll tell you, it meant wearing one of Mrs. Beecham's pleated black skirts around my neck, spinning around, going, woo, I am the wind. And now you might be thinking, okay, so probably not the part you wanted, but it's easy, you can't get that wrong, you can. Turns out you can. I wasn't very good at being the wind, I needed extra rehearsals, right? So while the rest of my class were in our classroom learning how to read and write and finger paint, paint wasn't a girl in our class. I was sent out into the corridor to practice being the wind on my own, right? So picture that. 7-year-old Zach in the corridor on his own, spinning around, woo, I am the wind, till another teacher came out of her class to ask me what the fuck I thought I was doing. Right, this was in 1985, it was before autism. If that happened now, that second teacher would have put her arm around me and gone, I think we'll get you tested as well. Not then, not in 1985, she just looked at me and went, oh, dickhead then. They probably had a conversation about it in the staff room. If you've got that Zach Lacey in your class, yeah, keep a fucking eye on him, he's an idiot. Don't give him the scissors, for fuck's sake. I was probably an inch away from sitting on the table with the div kids eating crayons and setting fire to stuff. Horrendous. But they do say that every cloud has a silver lining, and I'll leave you with this, because this story does actually have a happy ending. Because like I said, that happened in about 1985, so about 40 years ago or so. And at the time, Mrs. Beecham had to be 60 years of age if she was a day. So now I can take comfort in knowing she's almost certainly fucking dead. You lot have been amazing. I've been Zach Lacey. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the night.
We have a break, 5 minutes, you come back, you got a fabulous final act. Another round of applause, please, for Zach Lacey.